What's up, guys and gals? Mike from Morrison's Outdoor Adventures here, and we are moving into the next part of our rebuild of David, our Land Cruiser. For a long time ran ARB bumper, ARB suspension on this vehicle. Great suspension setup. We ran the heavy with the torsion bars and all that. Did great carrying the weight, but it's got a lot of miles on it now, a lot of hard miles, right? Off-road, so it's time to replace that. Also, our front bumper, lots of hard pulls, right? That bumper had over 10,000 pulls on it, as well as the Warren winch we had on there, which we'll talk about a little bit when we get into it. But now we're going, the bumper was tweaked a little bit, right? So now we're going to replace that bumper. We are going back with an Ironman bumper, Ironman suspension. And so this video is going to be all about installing kind of the Ironman products. I wanted to try something new because you guys give a lot of questions about different products. So I want to make sure that I can speak to it correctly, right? Whether or not it's good product or not. So we're also in this video going to be throwing on a snorkel, recovery points, and all that while we're kind of going through. But winch wise, okay, our Warren winch that we had was a VR series. Okay, so the VR series, it was the older Evo VR, great winch, right? It's their economic brand, right? It's one of the only winches they have that's made overseas, but it's been a good winch. Again, over 10,000 pulls, same synthetic winch line on there. It's done really well. We want to put a new winch on there, but right now it's just not in our budget. So we're going to go ahead and put this one back on there, but we're going to refurbish it a little bit before we put it on. It's not going out of commission. Even when we take it back out of the bumper later on, we'll put it on another vehicle. So, but we'll throw that on there, and you guys can kind of see again how that winch has been through the ringer. But let's jump into it and see what we can get into turning some wrenches. Yeah, I mean, it's just like the factory one. Yep. All right, so we've got the bumper hung. It's on there. It's not tight. One of the things about this style bumper, right, is it's got a lot of adjustment in it. So we have to kind of square it up, get it where we want it, and then we will tighten it down. And then once it's tightened down, you do have to drill pinning bolts that hold it in place. One of the things about a lot of, again, this style bumper is they're crash tested, airbag rated, because they're used all over the world. So they're not quite as rigid sometimes as some of your other bumpers on the market. So they do have a lot of adjustment in it. Now that does mean we have to square it up to a truck that's been beat on for a while, so the body lines may not be quite right. So we're going to go along and square up to these body lines as best as we can, but they actually want you to leave a little bit of gap too, because once we start flexing off-road, and this is with any bumper, that bumper can come in contact with the body, which is what kind of happened with the ARB one, just because it got tweaked so much over time. So we want to leave a little bit of a gap there. Normally I kind of shoot for about 1/4 inch or about a finger's width, right, on the sides and all the way across the front. So we're going to work our way through that process, get this tightened down, and then we'll move into the next part. All right, hold it right there. All right, bring your jack around to this side. All right, so Finished to point on the bumper, right? We still got a little bit more to go, but we've got to pick up some bolts to fit the recovery points. So next step for us is we're going to move right into the snorkel install. So why do we want a snorkel? Well, a common misconception is that main focus of a snorkel, right, is for water crossings. But really it's not. They're not always super watertight. It does raise your air intake up higher. It will help with water crossings. But the biggest focus behind a snorkel is actually grabbing clean air, right? Getting up above dust particles and convoys, stuff like that, grabbing clean air. Also, part of the way a good snorkel is designed, right? It actually creates a little whirlwind on the inside, spins a little bit, and then throws out debris, so it's only pulling in good clean air. So scientific, all that mess, but we're gonna throw a snorkel on there, kind of help it breathe a little bit better. All day. Get up and put your body into it. Flip off it quick. All right, so we've finished off with our template. Now we're gonna go ahead and we gotta start drilling out these holes to get everything set up ready for the mount. A lot of people get nervous about this part, right? We're drilling through our fender, but it doesn't have to be exact, right? We just need to be pretty close as long as everything lines up right. Most important thing is once we get the larger hole cut out, the oval and all that, and even our drilled out holes, is that we rust proof them. So put a little paint on them and clean them up. The snorkel is going to cover up a lot of this, so that's a big important part of what we're going to be doing. So we can't quite find the right size hole saw, so we're improvising a little bit. Couldn't get a 3 3/4, so we had to get a 3 5/8. So we're having to make the hole a little bigger. Can you give me a screwdriver, a Phillips?